people are still hopping on. I hope you don't mind. Thank you so much. So as some of you will know, I'm in Croatia. I'm on a cruise. The purpose of the cruise is learning and fun. So in the mornings we're learning, and in the afternoons we're having fun, and we're also learning. And that's really cool. And so the topic of the cruise is really, it's a quantum alignment cruise. And this is about, as I said, the three things we're going to do over two days each are, we're going to be talking about clarity. I'm looking at my notes because clarity, certainty, and freedom from limitation. So the belief that you can absolutely create the life that you want. And as I was saying before, it's our lack of clarity that prevents us from doing this. So I heard this morning that the kitchen of life gives you all the ingredients, but what you choose to make of it is up to you. So you have everything you need. It's how you use it. So this is about a clarity of signal. What do you want? Really knowing what you want and knowing what the experience of that looks like. And the way that we create the connection is through really meditation and coherence. So it's mind, heart, coherence. It's about being able to believe that you can attract what you want. What's really, really exciting about this is that you focus 99.9% on the what and 0.1% on the how. As soon as you get into the how, you're in your head. As soon as you're in your head, you're blocking it because you're trying to strategize. So it's really, this is a process of opening. This is a process of deciding what it is you want with absolute clarity. So for example, Josh, I'm just gonna pick on you for a minute. I know that you really want to be a musician and you're pretty laser focused about it, I believe. So how clearly can you see that? What does it look like? What does it feel like when you have people wanting to hear you? What does it, for me, the vision that came through today, because I'm very excited about the idea of having a new partner, the vision that came through for me was having the keys to our new house. And rather than thinking about the person or the qualities or the list, it was that thing of having the keys to our new house. I was talking to Peter Sage about it, and it was like suddenly like, boom, I get it because I could feel the whole experience. So it's about having the vision and the clarity to be able to do that. What else have I written down for you? So in the reason we call this, I'm talking about this as quantum, is because there are multiple potential realities but you are reviewing your life based on your sense data. You're looking at your life based on what you can see, hear, touch, smell. But that's just not the reality. We perceive that as reality, and this is really hard for some people to understand. We perceive that as reality, but the true reality is how we experience things as something other than physical matter reality. And that's how creation happens, is when we can tap into that. I hope this is making sense. So there are multiple potential realities. And one of the phrases that was used this morning is, if you look in the mirror reflects back to you. So if you look in the mirror and you see lack, then lack will be reflected back at you. If you look in the mirror and you see confidence will be reflected back at you. If you look in the mirror and you see abundance will be mirrored back at you. There's no point trying to fix the mirror. We have to fix our insides so that what's reflected back is what we truly desire. And that comes from cleaning up our act. And I mean cleaning up our act energetically and spiritually. Because you can't think your way through this, guys. This is really about something else. This is about allowing something to come into your life. So super, super exciting. And Here we go. Let's see, what else have I written down for you? So the thing that happens is we're tied to our sense data. We're so tied to our sense data that we block things. So in order to shift reality, you need to outgrow your sense data. In other words, you need to believe. So I'm going to give you a little checklist here, and then we can talk about this. It's not going to be a long call tonight, mainly because I'm sitting in a park bench opposite a ship in Croatia. And I don't know how good the signal is, but I didn't want to let you down. So firstly, know what you want. Know what you want. It's just really hard for some people. They're like, do I want this, or do I want this? Do I want this? Why don't you try this out with the one thing you want? Sorry, I can't see what you've written, Joshua, but you can tell me in a minute, because it's really hard on this phone. Well, it's not hard, it's just I can't see it. So hard is when you're starving and you have to walk 3 miles for water. This is not hard. So know what you want. Get some clarity. If you're thinking of a million things you want, just choose one for now so that you can bring it into fruition. Number 2 is set your intention. Now, intention, we discussed this a lot this morning. What is intention? It comes from a really deep place. It comes from, it's like a combination between a decision, a determination, a knowing. Setting your intention. It's like, if I like to think of it as shooting an arrow at the target and getting a bullseye. It's like having really laser focus. In Buddhism, we call this ichinen, which means 3,000 realms of life in a single moment of life. It's like just being so clear in your intention. Very, very cool. And then, as I said earlier, number 3, focus 99.9% on what. Again, this is the same thing. I'm repeating myself, but this is it. And 0.1% on how. Allow the process to unfold. You know, I may have told this story before, but the way I attracted the person I'm currently with into my life was just such bizarre coincidences. Like my WhatsApp flat that I was going to be staying in, and the landlord had the same name as this guy, and the guy reached back out to me after I totally dismissed him, and he said, "Hey, how you doing?" But I had totally dismissed him. He came back into my life. There is no explanation for that. That's too crazy, right? So that was focusing on the what, not on the how. We don't know. Number 4 is trust. So when we go to a restaurant and we order the food, we don't sit there thinking, is the food going to come? Is my dish going to come? That's the kind of trust you need to have. I put in my order, it's coming. I ordered, the quiche is coming. I ordered the vegan whatever, it's coming. I ordered the filet mignon, it's coming. You put your order out, it's coming. It's very exciting when you think about it. Like, why would you choose not to believe in that? It's a much more joyful way of living. And then there's this thing about finding the sweet spot, what we call the sweet spot between believability and excitement. Okay? So don't choose something so outlandish that you can't have it. You have to really be able to believe it and get excited about it. So when I had that momentary vision of having the keys to the new house, it's totally believable to me. Why wouldn't that happen? That encompasses a whole range of things. That encompasses the partner, that encompasses the abundance to be able to attract that house into my life. It represents so many things. A home, that's building a life together, isn't it? So that's a really good symbol for me. And I was excited about it. The minute I thought of it, I was like, whoa. I just said, I've just had a massive download. This is what it's like. Now, next part, number 6, raise your vibration. Now, open practices, whether it's meditation, whether it's, if you happen to be a student of Peter Sage, putting on your Taurus, these are all things, if you want to have a one-to-one call with me to discuss the various ways you can do this, or indeed to discuss any of this, let's do it. Let's talk. Let's, help you find that way, help you find the way to raise your vibration. For some people, it's just dancing around the kitchen, right? But you have to find a way to raise your vibration because it's energy. This is all about energy. We think everything is physical matter reality. It's not, it's energy. Yeah, and number 7 was book a call. Book a call with me so we can dig down into this deeper. So I don't want to say any more. I'm not expecting this to be a long call tonight, although I think there's so much exciting information. I would really love to hear your thoughts. Sonia, lovely to see you. Does anyone have anything they want to say? Any questions they want to ask?
Hi, what is number 7? What you said is number 7, the last one?
Book a call with me.
Hi, I didn't get this one.
Book a telephone call with me or a Zoom call.
Aha, book a call with you. Also, what I've heard is Coca-Cola with you. Okay, book the call with you.
You can
Sorry.
cook a call with me. Yeah, you're more than welcome to do that.
Hey,
I'm a good metaphysical cook, but I have to admit I'm not a great cook when it comes to
okay,
like the physical matter reality part.
Okay.
So questions, comments, excitement. How does it feel to think about this? You just think that's just bullshit, there's no way? Or do you think, actually, that's a really exciting concept, I'm going to try that?
I'm going to try that.
Good. Do you have an idea of what it is you want? Do you have clarity about that, Sonia?
As you said, excuse me for my outlook. So I just came back from the beach, and my hair is still messy. I was obviously swimming. So yeah, no, it's gonna be one thing related to my new business challenges. I mean, my new private business.
So you've got, do you understand the idea that you need to know exactly what it is you want, but the how will reveal itself when you raise your vibration and allow things to come into your life which are going to support you in that direction? So rather, this is really about being in through me rather than by me. So most of us live our lives thinking we have to make things happen, that we have to force them to happen. And yes, you can do that. You can, but it's exhausting. This is a much more joyful way to live, to allow things to unfold and to happen. It doesn't mean you take no action. That's not what I mean, but it does mean that you have to have develop a certain level of trust.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure whether I will be able to achieve high vibration, but let me try.
Excellent. I love that. Who else? You're all very quiet.
Okay, Cori, I will say that I've been studying material like this for a long time. Sorry about the light, I've got a window in behind me. I've been studying material like this for a long time, and I have written down things that I want, desires that I have. I need to narrow them down, obviously, from what you've said. But what I find the most difficult part is to let it go and forget about the how. Where, as women, we've spent our lives in the hustle and grind of the blinders of, okay, I have a million things to get done between my job, my kids, their sports, the house. Like I've spent my whole life in the hustle and grind, and it's the how, and this is going to happen. To suspend that how, for me, is the most difficult thing, to just let it go and trust that it's going to happen.
So here's a really great phrase for that. It's called lowering the importance.
Mhm.
All the things that have happened to me in the last year that have been amazing, things like quadrupling my income, attracting a man into my life, have happened because I let go of them.
Mhm.
When I was in the business that you and I have both been in, for many years, I was saying, I want to earn this amount of money. I want to earn this amount of money. As soon as I let it go, bam, something came into my life. And so it's because I wasn't thinking about it. But if you're so focused, you see, I don't want to create confusion here. Focusing on your intention does not mean that you focus on the thing. It means you have clarity about what the thing is, and then you raise your vibration. And when you are obsessing, it becomes too important. It's the lifting of your energy that brings it in. But there, you can still know what you want and let it go. Just to say, if anybody, do you guys want me to stop recording this, or are you happy to be involved in this? If you want me to, then just put your hand up, because I think this is a really helpful discussion. If you're bothered by it, yeah, let me know. Josh, I see you have your hand up too. What did you want to? Does that help,
Yeah.
Joanne?
Yeah,
Sorry.
it does. Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm.
Good. Josh.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that a big part of what you're explaining now is actually something, if you think about it, back when we were kids and we were taught about the system, this is actually what you need to unlock and kind of
Yes.
block, because we are all unique from this, whether it's a belief, it's something inside of you, doesn't matter how you call it by name, but everything you were taught in school when you're going for a goal kind of is useless in a way, because that is one big wall around you. So if you can drop the idea what they gave to you in school, like you need to drive 20 miles an hour, kilometer, whatever, and you can leave that behind for a second, be realistic about what the goal is, what the limitations are physical, and even how further you can go than you even expect. I think if you start with that, then contact Cori to make that phone call. I think then you can really launch something and reach some goals. That's about all I want to say about that, because I can quote a billion musicians, but this is not about music. So, and what I just typed in the box, Cori, is I'm a huge fan of Keeping Up Appearances. That's a UK show from the 90s, and it was with Mrs. Bouquet, and they went on a journey with the Queen Elizabeth II in very much style, and they were stranded in Denmark, I believe, and her husband needed to sing songs for Britain to protect her. So with the boat earlier on, sing songs for Britain. Okay, well, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. I was really struggling to hear you, Josh, but I did hear something in the beginning about children, and I also heard the word realistic, which I thought was a really interesting word in this context, because there's a difference between realistic and believable. I think it's good to it's if you go for something that's too realistic, you're not going to have evidence that this works, but you have to believe it's possible. So there's a difference between realistic and believable. Children are they're so they haven't yet had people telling them that you can't have, it's at the point at which we're told we can't have something, or something can't happen, or magic can't happen, that things start to become problematic. I'm sorry it's so noisy here, but at least I'm in a real place. Yeah, so I think the thing about children and wishes, and I remember when I was a child, I had this idea, this is so weird, but I had a waste paper basket that I really wanted, that was decorated with ribbons, and I wanted it for my Christmas present, and I got exactly the thing I visualized. I remember it really, really well. I'm sure we've all had evidence of that in our lives, but it's important to have this journal of positive confirmation so that you're reinforcing that model of the world. Thank you so much, Josh. Eva, you wanted to say something.
Yes, so I think that there's missing piece and these ingredients that you're talking about is trust. That's the state in between. That's the right attitude. And I would like to share a story from my life that is not that recent, because me and Cori, we have been studying in some different courses, quite similar stuff, right? We have. And
Yep.
so I thought when I came to it, let's give it a try, because unless you play with it, like, how can you know? So I actually did this game and I start to attune to how I want to feel every morning. And this was back in January last year, 2021. And imagine,
Wow.
I was transitioning from a different area and I was starting my own business. So in other words, I was becoming a coach. So I was a newbie coach. And with this concept of knowing what I want, of just attuning to my emotion, of just having this trust, it took 4 months of intense studies. And in April, May, June, I had clients and I earned 10 grand, 10,000 euros, like a new coach. I mean, when I'm telling this story to people, it's like, but so I had like an amazing start with my business. It's true, it's my story. But then sometimes then you start to doubt yourself in the process.
Yep. Yep.
So I also experienced this, this down point in the spiral, but now I'm getting back on track. So it's just to say, I mean, it's perfectly doable for everyone, but it's the trust. And we're really so attached to the reasoning and logic. It's so prevalent that sometimes it's also important to clear many of your limiting beliefs and patterns on the way, so you keep your vibes high. That's what I wanted to share.
That's amazing. Thank you, Eva, and thank you for sharing a direct experience that this does work. One thing I will say to add to all this is that life gives us what we need. We do live in a friendly universe where whatever the lesson is that we need will come up. So the picture may not, sorry, helicopter break. The picture may not be what you want it to be, but it's because there's a lesson in there somewhere. And your lesson, Eva, in that was to continue the work, to keep your vibration and your trust high, right? And that's okay, because you can refresh that, you can reinvigorate that. I have a terrible feeling I'm going to run out of battery soon, so I'm going to just try and go in my cabin in the boat. So I'm taking you with me, but if we get cut off, I do apologize. Who else wants to say something? This is the most informal call you've ever had with me, right? Can you still hear me, or are you all frozen? I can see you nodding.
Where are you, Cori? I'm just curious.
I'm
Which
in
one?
Croatia.
Ah,
I'm in Croatia on a cruise with 30 people, and our sort of, I'll call him our mentor, for want of a better word, the person whose course I've been following and who I now am a trainer with. So yes, it's all good fun. Okay, now they're all upstairs having dinner, but I came here to, I'm gonna keep some dinner aside for,
okay.
I don't want to break the flow of being with you here. Now you're going to see my little cabin. I hope you can hear me properly. Isn't this exciting? I'm giving you a tour. Did you know you were going on a cruise today when you came on this call?
I knew because you told me that you are in Croatia, but I was wondering which town. Which town
Who
you
else
are
would
in?
like to say something? We are in a little place called,
Doesn't
it's
matter.
spelled Hvar.
Hvar.
I
Yeah.
don't know how it's pronounced.
Yeah,
It's on
yeah.
an island. We'll
Yeah, yeah, Hvar. Yeah.
move around the room.
Okay.
Yeah,
Island Hvar.
exactly. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mm.
Or my
Now I'm
son
actually
was in Hua
standing up.
yesterday.
Pardon?
My son was in Hua yesterday, and he didn't even know. He didn't even know that, you know, he was going to be there at the same time. And how crazy! In June, he was in Tenerife, in the same place where you were all on the same week where you. He's done all
Oi.
my trips without knowing it.
I think the universe might be trying to tell him something. What do you think?
I think so too. I think so too.
This color is not very flattering on me. I'm just saying. So who else has something they want to ask or share?
Actually, I would like to ask probably Eva, you and people who have more experience with this kind of, I would say, visualizations. So what you do besides meditation in order to raise your vibration and raise your frequency?
It was a question for me, was it?
I
Yeah.
mean, it might be for you or for Cori or whoever has this kind of positive a journal of positive high vibrations.
I think Cori got frozen, so I might try to answer the
Please do.
question.
Please do.
Well, it's about evening routine for me. So I switch off my, or at least I put it on the side, the phone, right? And I try to, you know, for example, really go through some gratitude practice. Let's say things I'm grateful for the day. And I really tune into the feeling. It's just not about writing it down and like, yeah, I acknowledge it, but I just don't feel anything. It's about feeling into it. And it's a conscious choice. It's quite powerful. So that's an example. And so the way you go to sleep actually makes your morning. It's the way you're gonna wake up in the morning. And what's really important, no matter how much time, I try to have at least 1 hour for myself. So I love when my family and my kids are asleep and I just start the morning with myself. But even if I have, let's say, just 10, 15 minutes, and I sit with myself in the morning and I free write. So let's say you have this mind chatter. Sometimes we wake up and we already, right, with this mind chatter, this inner critic or inner judge, or you're feeling something, you're not even sure what you're feeling. So I just write it down and I throw it away. It's kind of emptying your mind. And only then I sit for how much time you have, 5, 10 minutes to meditate, yeah, to really like put myself into this state where I listen what we call higher self. So basically I listen to my intuition. Yeah, there are many details to it, and I mean, but this might help. So this is really helpful to raise your vibration, these practices.
Thank you so much. So it is very helpful. And when you say you listen to your intuition, it is, I mean, generally speaking, or it is really related, it depends. It might relate to particular intention and whatever, particular wish, right?
Yeah, it can. It definitely can. Actually, the best way to work with your intuition, if you want to have some guidance, like it's also to ask some questions, like let your intuition guide you. So tune into it and then let it come to you.
Absolutely.
Way it talks is more via pictures, via symbols. It's not, you're not gonna hear logic language, but there might be a sense of knowing. So everyone's intuition talks a little bit different way. So it's kind of start to exercise this muscle. It's a muscle. It's called the sixth sense. So we all have it.
Mhm,
Don't use it. So it's the same. If you don't go to gym, you have your muscles, but it's
mhm,
just
mhm,
trained.
mhm.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Eva.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have
Can you
Cori
guys-
back. You're back. I think she's
Yes,
back.
we do. But I don't know if I, hang on. I'm gonna turn off my camera because it's, that's such bad signal. So yeah, and just, thank you so much, Eva and Sanya. So does anyone else have anything they want to ask or share? Yeah.
Let's see, I'll just add one thing. It's Bruce from Vermont. I live in
Can you
Croatia.
guys hear me?
Can you hear me? Cori, can you hear me? All right, well, I'm not sure Cori can hear me, but you
There we
guys,
go. Can you guys hear me?
yeah,
My camera off?
Yeah, we're trying. Bruce is about to share, Cori. I don't know whether you can hear, but Bruce is about to share.
you there, Cori?
I am, yes, just about.
Okay, guys, so I really can relate to this idea of, sometimes we try too hard for things and it gets in the way. And I'm convinced that most everything important can be said in a folk song. I'm a folkie, so there's this song, it goes like this. You've got to sing like you don't need the money. You've got to love like you never get hurt. You've got to dance like nobody's watching. You've got to come from the heart if you want it to work. And as I sit here, it's like, I'm realizing one of the things I did was I really didn't love like I'd never get hurt. You know what I mean? Like maybe I was too cautious and too worried about losing my girl and not brave enough to just kind of go for it in that relationship. You know what I mean? Maybe I loved like I was gonna get hurt instead of loving like I'd never get hurt. Anyways, just wanted to share that.
Thanks, Bruce. I'm just hoping that Cori, oh, there she is. She's coming. She's coming.
Yeah, I did hear that. It was really, I could hear that. It was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. The thing I really, maybe I'm concerned about, I would say, is, yeah, it was really, really beautiful. Is maybe, but maybe you also just did where you were who you were at that time, and that's where the growth is happening now. And so there's nothing that can't be undone. There's nothing. It seems horrible when you're going through pain, but maybe the lesson is to be able to navigate this in a way where you come out of it with something even better, because I don't believe that something's been taken away from you that's irredeemable or irreplaceable. So that's, I'm trying to figure out the right words to encourage you, because that's such a beautiful observation, but I don't want it to be a blame one, if you see what I mean. Does that make sense? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we heard you, Cori, and so did Bruce, and he gave you the signal to say he understood. I don't know whether you can hear me now telling you that, but
Oh,
I
cool.
think so.
Listen, I can't, but you know what? I would really love to continue this conversation next week when I'm back on land. and I have the benefit of 6 days of this cruise behind me. So I'm going to invite you all to join me again next Monday. If you want to have a conversation in the meantime, I have confidence that my phone works, but doing anything to do with Zoom calls and stuff is just unfortunately out of my reach. So thank you so much. We still managed to spend 45 beautiful minutes together, and I really love what people are sharing. I'm going to make the suggestion that between this week and next week, you just choose something really, really small, make the decision to attract it into your life and trust that by next Monday, and trust that it's going to happen. Don't go for the big stuff. What you need at this point is positive confirmation. So go for the small stuff first. And I look forward to seeing you all then. And thank you for being tolerant of my internet. So love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll speak next week.